Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to episode 197 of Let's Talk Oculus. I'm your host, as always. I'm Dan, and I'm joined by my co-host, as always. It is Samson. Before we continue with this pod, Samson, please tell us what is the squidgy ball that's in your hand?
Oh, Dan, it is a Nido, and I bought it yesterday at a small toy store in Providence, and I've been squeezing it ever since. Pretty hooked, stressful. Dan. Yeah, we'll take that sponsorship, Nido, if you're out there. There's a bigger one, Dan. This was the little guy, and there's one that's probably, I don't know, must be like 5 times the size of this.
Well,
maybe you'll see me with it one day.
It's funny that you say toy shop. We're going down to memory lane today. Bit of a segue right there. Thanks for everyone for joining us. This whole episode, well, at least the first half of the episode, is actually not really going to be too VR centric. It's going to be our childhood gaming memories. We're going to look back and kind of reminisce and see if anything crossed over from our childhoods. Obviously, you being in the States, me being in the UK, slightly different things happening. You know, we've got Mega Drives in the UK. We've got Genesis.
The
crumpets. Your British accent's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie,
but I can't say much.
It's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna go down memory lane. Before we do that, bit of housekeeping. Samson.
Housekeeping.
Discord, if you haven't joined already, there's a link right below. It's free to join, and you can just come out, hang out with the community. We had a few new members this week, actually.
And a new old member.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, who is that? Yeah, yes. Absolutely. So, yeah, join us if you haven't already. There's lots going on in there. Always fun for game recommendations as well. We've also got the Walk 'em Out tournament that Healing Entree is hosting that you can participate in Dan. As well. Well,
should we go into that?
Yeah, tell me about it.
There's a whole bunch of rules this time. He's mixing it up this time because we're taking a whole tour of Walkabout, Dan. A whole tour.
Tell me more. Tell me more. What is the tour?
Dan, are you trying to rhyme?
No, I'm not trying to rhyme.
Okay. Well, over the course of the next 6 weeks, we will play each course either as a half course or in race mode. No course will appear more than once, except the new course in easy and hard forms. In each week, one course will contain a modifier. And he's randomly selected the courses for the whole season, so no bias is included. So Dan, all 34 courses are going to be in this season.
Wow.
Yeah. But as before, there'll be essentially 4 full courses each week. Mm-hmm. It'll just be broken up into a front easy, a back easy, a front hard, and a back hard.
I love that.
And then 2 race. Yeah, it'll be great. I do oftentimes when I play 9, I feel like I've been left hanging a bit, but I do like the variety.
It'll make it harder as well, in a way, because you get so used to a specific 9, a specific type of mechanic. I mean, think of Coyote Valley, like the wind only comes into the back 9. So depending on which one you play, you get a bit of a different experience as well.
Drew, a bit wind heavy in the back 9 there.
Exactly.
Each week will run from Tuesday to Monday, with the scores being submitted by midnight Eastern Time, UTC -5. Is that -5 or is it just UTC -5? Okay, -5. Nailed it. Week 1 will start slightly earlier, which is going on right now. Screenshots you can submit to Healing Entree in the Discord, so come on down there. And please make sure all the information is visible at the bottom of the scorecard so you can double check that the modifiers are there and the times and all that. This week's entries, Dan, they're due by August 4th. And the easy front 9 are Widow's Walkabout, easy back 9, Gardens of Babylon, hard front 9, 20,000 Leagues, hard back 9, Temples of Zazura, high gravity.
Wow.
Easy race mode, El Dorado, hard race mode, 8-bit lair.
Good luck. That's yeah. Good luck for sure. Wow. Very, very good. And also for Walkabout, we play on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, at least for this next month of August.
Yes. We may have to change it come September.
Yeah, we will talk about that later on. And the Patreon, if you want to support the show, Let's Talk Oculus at Let's Talk Oculus. No, patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. I got there in the end.
It's first time?
Patreon. Yeah. First time I've done the show. Only 197 episodes. And as we spoke about last week, our 200th episode is right around the corner. August 21st, we will be filming that one live on YouTube. And we'll post all the details closer to the time, of course. But please join us live. It's going to be on August 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And you can ask questions. We'll have a fun topic. We'll have a good time. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time. For now, though, let's talk about comments. We've got some listener comments in here. Quite a few, actually.
Yeah,
so
the comments are back, Dan.
The comments are back.
The chitter-chatter.
You can comment to the show via Spotify if you listen on there. There's a comment section. You've also got YouTube comments I check. You've got the Discord community. There is episode discussion in there or questions that you can also ask. And you can also go old school with the email at letstalkoculus@gmail.com. Samson, I want to read the first comment here. It's from DMAX. And this is in relation to last week's episode where we spoke about the B Haptics vest and obviously the tack sleeves, which are the arms as well. He says, it's just a nice little comment. He just says, well done, lads. Might need to start sorry. Well done, lads. Might need to start I can't say it, Samson. Can you say it? Propagandizing. It's not a word that I've ever said before. The better half soon. Crafting my language now. So that is his question. It's not really a question, but I think, Samson, you've taken it as a question.
Well,
what is your response?
I haven't necessarily taken it as a question so much as, since you're developing the language for your better half, I decided to help out, perhaps, Dan. So this is for you, DMAX. You can use it or not. Your choice. Dear better half, you look absolutely stunning today. I've been thinking about a recent LTO episode. Those guys sure are fantastic. Can I get you dinner tonight? Somewhere real special. Wow. You really are just so incredibly gorgeous. I'm going to go spend a few $100s for some extra immersion in VR. But don't fret. You can borrow the vest anytime you'd like. To be Haptics. With so much love, DMAX.
Do you think his better half knows that it would be from DMAX, knows who DMAX is, that handle?
I presume that's how DMAX talks to his loved one.
Very well. There they go, DMAX. Let us know if it works. I think it's a really well curated letter right there. And I'm not sure why it won't work. And for those of you who are also listening and like, that's actually a really good idea, feel free to use the letter. Let us know if it works. Feel free to change a few words.
It was pretty curated to DMAX specifically, but it might work for others.
You can change a few words here, but don't go crazy. If you change a lot, then you can't blame us, But I think it's pretty guaranteed to work.
You probably want to change with so much love DMAX part.
Yeah, for sure. Another comment, which is also just more of just a standard comment here. Forests of Odin mentioned that I can definitely recommend the B Haptics Air Vest. Love it. We were talking about the Air. We obviously had the Pro, and the Pro being $500 is a very expensive piece of tech. It's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive. And we were wondering if we could get the Air and then the sleeves for that same price as just the Pro vest, to be honest. So that's good to hear.
Sounds like it's a good recommendation. For sure.
What's the next comment, Samson?
Well, from Brew Monkey on the next walkabout course on the Discord. Says, I just realized that San Francisco might be a fun city for the next passport location. Lots of big hills, Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz. I could also get behind a neon-heavy Tokyo. And I do agree that San Francisco and or Tokyo would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think both of them would be good. I remember them mentioning something about like a character or something that's happened in earlier this year that's related to it. I actually don't know if there's anything big that's happened in San Francisco or Tokyo, but maybe there is. Maybe there is. I like the idea of that too. I think San Francisco would be a really beautiful one. And Tokyo would be a cool one, maybe for the Quest 4 when they can really show off super lights and all that stuff. But hey, Quest 3 can do stuff like that too. Yeah.
San Francisco's where the Oculus thing happens every year, right?
Yeah. So maybe. But they're the comments. So thanks everyone for commenting on the show. There were some of the nice comments as well that was passed in the Discord. So definitely keep commenting and we'll read them out on the show. Now, this is technically not a comment, but you did mention it in the Discord, Samson. It's going to be a nice little segue to our main topic here. You asked in the Discord, or you didn't ask, but you showed in the Discord that
you posed via photo.
So you found what were you doing? So you were just clearing out and you found some Game Informer mags from. Can you remember when they were dated?
I do not remember when they were dated, but I remember one was for Max Payne 3 on the cover. One had Dead Space 2 on the cover, and I believe the other one had some sort of God of War, but I don't remember the third one now off the top of my head. I do remember seeing a PSP on the inside of one of them.
Oh, cool. Good times. Yeah. Good times. So you're looking at from PSP like 2000, maybe 2007 to 2012, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine they're probably from sometime in the aughts.
Yeah, something like that, for sure. Which got me thinking, Samson. Well, this leads into our main topic in terms of game memories as a kid. But let's start off with the magazines before we get into everything else here. But what magazines do you remember growing up? Obviously, you got Game Informer right there. But were there other magazines you remember getting as a kid or earlier or in general?
Yeah, there was a PlayStation magazine. I think it was like PSM. I believe it was called.
Yeah.
And there might have been one or two others that I got here and there, but Game Informer and I think PSM were the two that I had subscriptions to at various points.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I was never allowed a subscription to these magazines, but it was always so basically when we would go grocery shopping every, I think Friday night. I think it was like every Friday night, to be honest. I think Dad came back from work and with them we'll go grocery shopping. Or Saturday morning. It's either Friday night or Saturday morning we used to do the grocery shop. And it was a big grocery store. And then they had a massive magazine selection, which was always like towards the end when you get towards the checkouts. It would be like you get the magazine aisles, which was always nice because you do all your shopping and such, and then you get to the magazine aisle, and we're always allowed like just one magazine each. Nice. Basically, me and my sister. And
what was she getting?
She's younger than me, so she would be getting
highlights.
She would be getting like the girly magazines, shall we say, the ones that come with like I don't know some girls things. I couldn't tell you, right? I was always looking at the boys section. But when we were doing that, like when I was really young, there was a magazine that came out called Jetix or Jetix or something like that, which was actually like a Disney Channel brand. And I think they ended up having like a channel on cable as well for a little while, but it didn't last long. But it was like primarily for gaming, to be honest. There was some other stuff, but it was more like it was more oriented for gaming. The reason why I want to point that one out because some of these magazines also don't go across the pond. Like you in the US will have certain magazines. The UK they had different magazines. The reason why I just want to point out the Jetix mag is because I wrote to them as a 9-year-old kid at the time or so.
You got in there.
Yeah, I got in there and I put a question in and I got a star question. And I could not tell you for the life of me what that question was. It was gaming related, like something.
Can't you find it now?
I can't find it anywhere. I've been searching the internet and web everywhere.
Do you know which magazine it was in?
I remember
You had to find it on eBay.
I know the cover. The cover was Sonic the Hedgehog. That was on the cover for sure. I remember that for
Sure,
start.
he was only on the cover of one.
Yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure he was on the cover. But yeah, they don't have many. Like I think they had like maybe 20, 30 issues, and then kind of just fizzled out. To be honest, so it wasn't that big. But anyway, the reason why I'm mentioning this is that I put in a question. I need to find it, and I've been looking for so long, but I can't find it. But anyway, I put the question, got star question, me and along with another person, and we both won a Game Boy Advance SP. And and I got the Bulbasaur edition, so it was green, and then the other guy got the Charizard edition or the Charmander edition, so it was obviously red.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I actually never got it for ages, and then I did a handwritten letter. I remember my handwriting was all over the place, and then I sent that to them, and then literally like 2 weeks later,
Where is my SP?
Yeah, it was like a full-on letter size, and I remember then it finally came, and it was really, really cool. And I remember they sent like a Europe edition, so the outlet was incorrect, but
well, wrong, but good for you.
Yeah, but I still have it to this day, and it still works perfectly, and I still have the charger, and I still have most of the games that I had as well.
Wow.
Not all of them, but most of them. All the Pokemon games went missing, and I have no idea why, but probably stolen. But yeah,
those are games that are good to borrow. So.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to shout out for sure. But I think also much later, like 2006, 2007 to 2010 probably. So this is me like 11 to 14, 11 to 15 or something like that in age. Official Nintendo magazine I was big into, even when I didn't have a Nintendo console at the time. For some reason, I just really enjoyed reading the Nintendo magazine. I think I had like a Xbox, but for some reason, I just really liked the Nintendo magazine. I got the odd Edge mag. I don't know if you have Edge. I think it's more of a
Sounds
UK.
Familiar.
And then it was a bit too older for me, shall we say. And then when I got a PS3, I used to get the official PlayStation UK magazine all the time. And I actually found like the official PlayStation UK and the Nintendo one. There's a website, if you just type in like on Google.
They're all digitized?
Yeah. Like if you just type in on Google like old gaming magazines and such, you can bring it up. And I pulled up the PlayStation one and the Nintendo one, and I saw the covers, and I still recognized a lot of those covers. I was like, oh, I remember getting this and this. Good times. Those are the days. Magazines, right?
Good time. Well, Dan, there was a VR magazine for a little bit. I think it was called VR Trend. Yeah.
Did you ever get it? You did?
Yeah.
How was it? How were they? It was
great. Got them. It felt like the Game Informer. They were full on high quality magazines. There were articles. There were some things about games coming out. Things like this.
I remember their covers being really cool. They really put a lot of effort into the covers. Yeah, very, very good stuff. Let's get into our main topic then. I mean, this kind of touched on it already, but
let's go.
Let's go into our childhood gaming memories, and kind of like we'll try and maybe at the end lead it into VR and like how some of these like memories shape into what we play today in VR. Samson, I'm gonna throw it to you first. Maybe just a little bit. Give me like maybe what is your like earliest memory?
Well, you see how I broke it up into time frames here. So around the age of 5. I remember playing the NES Mario at my grandmother's place during a holiday.
Oh, nice.
Or at the very least, Dan, I've seen pictures of this happening, so I know it happened.
It's a long time ago.
Well, that's my first one. You want me to keep going?
You think your grandfather basically had an NES, or your grandmother had an NES, or they just had like a family? Like in general, like
I have no idea how that thing ended up there.
That's what I'm trying to think.
I assume my grandmother had it.
Yeah. How did that get in? What is the story of that for sure? No, keep going. Give me. I
think one of her sons probably bought it and had it there. Keep going. So I remember my mom having the OG Game Boy, that big brick.
Yeah. The Lego just came out with one. Have you seen the Lego version of it?
Yeah, Dan, I pre-ordered it. It comes in October.
I was so close too because it's not too expensive either. It's like
Yeah, no.
$50 or something.
And I was looking at some of the other things that like are in this vein, and they all go up like hundreds of dollars.
Oh, it's really
so,
Lego's expensive.
Yeah, so I was like under $100 for this thing. Yeah, I'll build that.
It looks good too. It's meant to be like 1-to-1 in terms of size, and comes with Mario and Zelda as the two games that it comes with. I'm not sure why it didn't come with Tetris. Sorry.
Yeah, license. I don't know. I guess I own it. They don't own a license to Tetris, do they?
Nintendo? I don't think so.
Yeah. So I remember playing Super Mario Land. I remember being bad, and I remember my mom like playing and then handing it to me near the end when there was like a flying level.
Yeah,
me being like, "Oh, this is so cool," and then dying.
Yeah, the flyings are like the last level, I think. It's at the end one, yeah.
And I think she got that like probably mid to late 90s. I remember using it on a trip to Disney World.
Yeah.
And you want me to keep going?
No, I can pop in here.
All right, because now we're in like 1996, 1997-ish.
So 1996, this is actually great because this is when I have been born, and this is like 2-3 years. Welcome, 94 is when I was born. So this is actually, our timelines intertwine right now. So I remember when my earliest memory of gaming is the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, as we would call it. We had two in the house because at the time my uncle was living with us. So my dad had one and my uncle had one. I think my dad actually won it in in a competition as well.
Look at you people. Lucky family.
I think he won it. And he had like it was a slim Genesis. So like if you type in Genesis online, like it's normally the fat one that you see. But it was just like a slim one. And it had like red dials and such, where the OG Genesis is like, it's big. It's long. And
I remember.
Yeah. So we had two of them in the house basically, but I played obviously my dad's more than anything. And games playing, like when I was that age, the biggest games obviously Sonic Hedgehog 1 and 2. The Michael Jackson game I had a great time with, and I still have good memories of that. There was a Lion King game that I used to play with my mom.
That was hard, I believe, right?
Yeah, Aladdin game as well. These all been re-released on like Switch, I think, recently as well. Or not recently, but over the last like 5-10 years.
And they were on Steam for a bit, but I think they were delisted.
Yeah, fair enough. And then I remember the OG Game Boy too. My dad had one, and I'm kind of sad because it's the only Game Boy that I don't no longer have. Like I have every other one that I had still at home. Whether they work or not, I don't know, but I still have them. But the OG Game Boy, I have no idea where that went. But yeah, I'm sad that that's disappeared. But I remember playing on it. The games I used to play was we had Tetris, tennis as well, which was really good. I still have that to this day. I still have Tetris actually.
I remember a baseball game.
I have baseball, baseball too. I still have that as well. Tetris. These are all like they're all basically Mario games actually, because you can see the characters are basically Mario, but it's not branded as Mario at that point.
True.
And then Super Mario Land, as you mentioned, I have that, still have that to this day. Super Mario Land was cool. I don't know about your cartridge if you remember, but on the back of my cartridge, they had the cheats where you could put in before you play, and then you have like infinite lives or all that stuff.
I don't think I could read when I was playing.
Yeah, we because I still have the cart to this day, and we still have that on the back. And I'm not sure if my dad like printed that out and had it perfect, but it kind of looks like it's integrated with the cart. Like I have no idea how that's. I'm pretty sure that's not. Maybe that is the cart. Maybe it always had cheats in the back. I don't remember. So that was then. Yeah. I kind of let's go back to you, Samson, because I'm trying to interject timelines here. So this would be, if you said that took you to 96, that would probably be my 96, 97. I was probably 3-4 years old, and that's what I can definitely remember. So let's go back to you.
Yes. Well, around that time, Dan, my neighbors had a Genesis, and I remember they had a Game Gear too. I remember my older neighbor and I playing NHL 96.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to read good, and thus I couldn't navigate the menus. And I remember he would somehow get me to pause it and convince me to give him my controller, and he would pull my goalie, and then he would score a bunch. Good times.
Good times. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
And I remember playing Sonic.
Oh, can you remember it was Sonic on the Game Gear or on the Genesis or both?
No, it was on the. I'm probably on both, but I'm
Probably
mostly
both.
on the Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game Gear was a battery suck.
Yeah, I didn't remember the Game Gear because I don't think I ever knew it existed until I was like 12 years old or 30 or even even later,
obsolete,
like much later, like when the internet existed. I didn't know this existed at all because I have no idea. We didn't have it, so if we didn't have it, we don't know about it, and none of my friends had it either. So I remember the cartridges were massive too, right, for the Game Gear.
Yeah, the whole thing was huge. I remember.
Yeah, fair enough. It kind of it gives me Steam Deck vibes in a way. Like it's just
not that great.
Not that great. Okay, so I think this is right around. I think the PS1 actually came out in '94, but I didn't actually have it until later. But before we get into that, I think that was my first ever proper console, but I can't remember when we got it in terms of timeline. But the PS1, Croc 2, I remember being the first game I had.
Wow.
Crash Bandicoot, of course. I had Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bash. I can't remember. I can't remember having Crash Bandicoot 2, but I definitely had the third one, Warped. I for sure had that one. Team Racing, of course, and such. Ronaldo v Football was my go-to soccer game at the time, and had it's called Ronaldo v Football, and Brazilian Ronaldo, and we played so many games of that, and Ape Escape for sure when we got the controllers, because originally the controllers did not have dual
shocks.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of memories with this. I don't have specific memories in terms of remember playing a lot of this stuff. Definitely with the Ronaldo v Football and Croc 2 and Crash Bash. I think they're the three big ones that I remember playing a lot of. But I just remember a lot of the games that I did play. I just don't remember. I don't have a memory of me playing them as much, but I remember playing them. Good times. You had a PS1 as well?
Yeah, I remember we got one around like the same time you're mentioning, 97, 98.
Yeah.
It's probably in like third grade or so.
Mm-hmm.
It was simple times back then, mostly Crash Bandicoot games, a lot of Crash Team Racing. I had a multi-tap, so I remember for a birthday setting up 2 Crash Team Racing systems with 4 people on each, and having like a big old like LAN tournament.
Wow,
that's
high tech back then,
dude. Somebody must have brought over as their own like the big tube TVs too.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a whole mission. They must have put that in a trailer or so, like a big wheelbarrow or something like that.
People had minivans back then.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I remember Need for Speed 2, and I remember Tony Hawk games. I remember going to a friend's house who had Tony Hawk 1, I think.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah.
And that was sort of my influence to, I see there are combos.
Right.
And then I remember renting a lot of games.
Renting. Let me talk about that for a sec. Did you just go to Blockbuster, or was that something else where you were?
But there was Blockbuster and there was Hollywood Video, and there were probably some other like real local ones, but mostly those two.
Yeah, it was just Blockbuster for us, to be honest, growing up. And I still remember the Blockbuster smell going into the Blockbuster, and it had this weird like carpet smell of it, like obviously the blue carpet and just a bunch of videos.
Movie theater feel.
Yeah, it did have a movie. That's exactly what it is. It felt like going into the movie theaters, and I remember because obviously it had so much video VHSs at that time, and then DVDs around that time. But I remember the PS1 section and having a great time with it. Like it was. I don't even know what it is in the US, but in the UK, it was you could rent it for 3 days. So you essentially would rent it on a Friday, bring it back on Monday, essentially, and you'd just post them.
Be kind, rewind.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, I remember also being so disappointed when I found a game that I really wanted, and there was no game behind it,
no copies
behind it or anything like that. great times. I just remember like my dad and my sister especially. I think my mum used to come as much to Blockbuster. She'd probably maybe cooking the dinner, and we'll go Blockbuster on a Saturday night, getting something to bring back. And I remember like my dad and my sister would walk around choosing like whatever movies they want, and I'd just be at the PS1 section. And for the longest time that they spend going through all the aisles looking at the VHSs and such, I'd just be looking at this one wall and going through every single game and
all
trying
the
to
games.
and just picking one of them as well. Yeah, that will never happen again, like something like that. But what a throwback that was.
Physical media could come back, but honestly, I bought so many DVDs, and then DVDs became obsolete so quickly. I feel that it's why I don't own a single Blu-ray. And there's sometimes where I'm like, I kind of want to watch like I used to love the bonus features or the commentary. Oh man, I love
director's commentary. You used to watch the films with the commentary on the background for the whole movie, or
I mean, not the first time watching it, but
yeah, for sure.
And the best ones are not the directors, but like actors. Like there's what's that space Ben Affleck movie or whatever? Armageddon.
Armageddon. I haven't seen. Yeah,
that's a good one. There's some random movie that Carrot Top does, and he's like audibly drunk.
Whilst he's doing the commentary.
Yeah. Like people, they just used to go crazy to try and sell DVDs. There's some really good commentary tracks out there.
Yeah, for sure. The good times. We didn't. It was more my dad than me. I would say would get the DVDs because of my age, and then the Blu-rays. I think I got a few of them back in the day, and they used to come with stuff as well. Used to be in promotions. I remember getting one of the Batmans in like a promotion.
Like Cracker Jack?
No, like the Dark Knight Batman. With the promotion? I have no idea. Can't remember what it was, but I remember just getting it like with something, and it was like a skinny Blu-ray. But yeah, we didn't do many collecting of Blu-rays either, just because it used, like you said, it kind of was getting obsolete. And the Blu-rays for sure.
Now, Blu-rays are still out there. They're not obsolete yet.
No, they're not full on obsolete, but they're more of a niche now. They're available. I'm not saying that, but like in terms of people buying them.
But if you were going to watch a physical media, it would be on a Blu-ray now.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be like Blu-ray ultra high definition and all that stuff.
UHDs,
and it also is. It's still technically a Blu-ray, but it's also, if you wanted to watch a movie at the best quality, you'd have to get the Blu-ray. Ultra. Yeah, streaming it's not from Netflix. It's not going to be that great and such. So if I had like a little movie theater room or something, for sure I'd be collecting those Blu-rays again. But in my 1-bedroom apartment, there's not much space for that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to watch all my 480p the regular DVDs.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, back to gaming.
Right?
97, 98. I also got a Game Boy Pocket and or a Game Boy Color eventually.
Do you remember what color your Game Boy Color was? Like the actual.
I think it was the clear purple.
Yeah, nice. So that kind of swings it back to me. So my first ever, like, I remember getting the PS1. I don't remember getting the PS1, but we got a PS1. So it must have been for like a Christmas or a birthday or something, or maybe my dad just bought one at some point. I don't remember. But the first gaming device I remember actually getting for myself, like getting it as a birthday gift and such, was the Game Boy Color. It was actually a surprise. We actually were in Australia at the time. This is in the year 2000. And
real British of you.
Yeah, the year 2000, and the obviously being year 2000, I remember my cousins who live in Sydney and still do. They came all the way to the gate with us as well and such. Yeah, very different times, because I still remember that memory, because I remember
pre 9/11 flying
when they came to the gate with us. It was around that time, or when they just like eventually left before we went to board. My dad handed me the Game Boy Color. My birthday was like a week or two before.
Take this.
Yeah. He wanted to give it to me like as we were flying back to the UK. I don't remember playing it on the flight whatsoever, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was a flight from Australia as a 10-year-old kid. I was dumbfounded. I don't remember playing it, but I remember getting it then. Games I got, I remember Driver, getting that. It was like 2D. I remember getting Super Mario Brothers Deluxe back then. Wario Land 3 was another one, and the carts were with the Game Boy Color were funky. They were like clear. And they were like quite big and such.
But the graphics weren't like upgraded. It was just the color.
Yeah. And games still came out for the Game Boy as well. Like the Pokemon Silver, I remember getting around this time as well. And it's still probably my favorite Pokemon I ever played. And I still have Pokemon Silver at home, actually. I still have Pokemon Silver. I still have Super Mario. I actually still have all of the Game Boy Color games I had. I didn't have many. There's probably like 6 to 8, but I still have them all at home. Driver, for some reason, is the only one that actually doesn't work, but every other one still boots.
It's probably okay.
Yeah, still fine. I still have the Game Boy Color at home, but I've lost the battery door. As
what color is yours?
Same as yours, Atomic Purple. Okay. Clear. No, Atomic Purple was clear. It was the clear one. Actually, it wasn't
I don't know
purple
what Atomic is.
I think Atomic Purple was. I think that was like you couldn't see through it. I had the see-through one, so I don't know what that one's called.
See-through purple.
See-through is see-through purple or clear, see-through white, but purple. You can see everything inside the internals and such. It was pretty cool. So that's how I guess we had the similar kind of time frame. I think my time frame was just like a year or two later. Which makes sense because I remember getting the color in 2000. But back to you, Samson.
Well, yes. Now, I guess I'm in like 2002 or so. I've skipped ahead a little bit here. I've gone to next generation, because it was a few years of playing all those games.
Do you remember much in the Game Boy Color at all? Do you remember any fond memories with that?
My Game Boy, it was mostly all Pokemon.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really don't think I own much other than Pokemon. I don't remember anything other than that.
What was your first Pokemon? What was the first Pokemon game you had?
I think I had Blue.
Yeah, Blue. I had Yellow. That was my first one, which I still have, but the save doesn't work because it was in my pocket in the washing machine once upon a time.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that we really grew up with Pokemon. Was it like 90? Yeah. I was like 6 or 7 when Pokemon started, and we've just seen the thing balloon.
Yeah, and it's still going. It's still going strong.
Oh man, crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so around probably late middle school, going into high school, PS2 era, I got really into sports games, specifically Madden, and I basically got a good neighborhood friend and I. We turned college football and Madden into an RPG game, Dan. We would create a player in college football, and we would each create a player on a team in the same division, right? So he'd pick Harvard, I pick Brown, something like this, both in the Ivy League. And we'd play the 2 games against one another, and then we'd simulate all the other games. We would play all 4 seasons of this in college. Then we would pick 2 teams in the NFL, and we would import our players into the Madden, where we would do a fantasy draft of around 50 or so rounds for the team. So we could tell you backup linemen around this time. Okay.
Yeah, you knew everyone on the rosters. You knew everybody.
Exactly. And we would once again pick 2 teams in the NFL that were in the same division. We would play the 2 games during the year. Sometimes our teams would meet in the playoffs. And if one of our teams ended up in the Super Bowl, or I think we would play all the playoff games for each other's teams. And we would just let the other person play as the other custom team, which was always kind of fun because you'd be like, oh, well, who's on who ended up on this team? And then we would play probably until we got bored or until our players retired. Probably the longest we ever went was 10 to 15 seasons in Madden. And then we would start all over.
Yeah.
We would literally, I remember playing probably he would come over in the afternoon. We would play all night. And back then you'd stay up till 3 a.m. to be all fine.
Yeah, you'd be fine. You'd wake up at set 8, 9, and you'd be fine. You'd be ready to go again. Oh, good times. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I think that's the well for us for sure, and obviously we're not too far apart in age. I think the PS2 era and 360 era going after this is like the key part of like friends coming over, multiplayer gaming,
LAN gaming, yeah.
LAN gaming, and obviously eventually online gaming as well, which was yeah a good thing you mentioned, because I wrote down here that I don't have too much nostalgia for some of the biggest multiplayer games that people talk about, like Halo, for example. Like I don't have nostalgia for that because I actually didn't play those games as multiplayer. I only played them as single player, and only actually played them as multiplayer much later on. So I don't have the nostalgia that I would have had if I played that when I was 13.
I am literally the opposite because I only played them at friends' houses.
Yeah. So I don't have that, but at the same time, I have tons of like memories like you in terms of playing multiplayer with friends and such, or like with from multiplayer that's just actually like, okay, we're playing Call of Duty and so on and so forth, but also multiplayer like what you're saying in terms of making stuff up in the game. So this one, I'm just jumping way ahead here into GTA 4 that came out on the PS3 and such. I had it on the PS3, and there's four of us who were playing it. There's actually five, but I'll say four because one of them didn't really want to. He was there, but he didn't really play. Basically, he was there doing his own thing for some reason. But in GTA 4, the online was very broad. Like basically you had the whole map of New York and New York City, and essentially you could set up games like team deathmatch and all that stuff if you wanted to, but you can also just be free for all. So we used to do like a team deathmatch basically, but essentially it'd be me and another friend versus the other two. And the cool thing about it is with the mics as well, like you could mute the other people. So we'd do it on the honor system where we'd mute the other two, so you can only hear your teammate.
Yeah.
And then we'll just make games up like in there. Like we'll be like, I don't know, we'll figure out like you'll spawn a bunch of choppers or something like that, and have like an air fight, shall we say, or maybe there's like kind of game of hide and seek in a way, where we're in this like one area. And,
games.
Yeah, just random, and these games that people didn't make for us. We just used our imagination and just made it, and so that's what it reminded me. I know this is obviously much further later on in this timeline here, but just like what you said with the like just creating your own games and going through and just just spending hours and hours just fooling around. To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I would always. I remember making maps in Tony Hawk, and just spending hours creating maps. Ridiculous ones.
The amount of hours spent on little random things like that. I guess in terms of just consoles, just to kind of round up that part, I didn't have a PS2. I had an Xbox. San Andreas and Halo 2 were my two biggest games, I would say, on that.
San Andreas came out on Xbox?
Yeah, it did. Actually, San Andreas was better on Xbox than PS2. You know why? It's because you could have a custom radio which will use all the music that you've added to your Xbox system. Because you could add music on there, which was so cool. The amount of, at that time, I think I was listening to a lot of Kanye West, to be honest, like College Dropout album kind of thing. So that was always on rotation at the time. Obviously, nowadays it's a bit problematic, but at the time it was great. Halo 2 was a big one too. Once again, didn't play online, which I really missed out on, because Halo 2 or LAN or anything like that, because no one else had an Xbox. Everyone had PS2s. I was the only person with the Xbox. But Halo 2 I absolutely loved.
I played multiplayer here and there. My brother played a lot of Halo 2 and Halo 3, and I just remember all the trash talk.
Fair enough. I did play a lot of Halo 2 multiplayer much later on, once they had it on the like latest Xbox and PC and such. In terms of handhelds, I had the Game Boy Color, Advance, SP, PSP, PS Vita, and then 3DS for a very short time with handhelds. PSP was a great time too. Did you have a PSP?
No.
No, I spent so many hours on PSP. And then in terms of consoles, as mentioned, Xbox, Wii after that, and then traded that in. This is when trade-ins were a big thing all of a sudden, and then traded that in for the PS3, which was used. Traded that in for the Xbox 360, which was the slim model, and that was probably my favorite console that I've ever had. Is that slim model 360 as well? Because at that time, stuff like Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3 have already come out
Yeah,
and
those are
such,
great.
and already been out for ages. So
And
they
you're
were
way past the red ring.
way past the red ring. It has Wi-Fi built in, and all of those games that I just mentioned were all super cheap because they've been around for so long at that point, and it was a great time to jump in.
There you have it.
Yeah. Any other memories that you wanted to share?
Well, I ended up there. I guess I'll go into college a little bit, where I played. That's where I got into like Halo Reach, 20 Hawk Underground 2, a little bit of Madden, and a little bit of FIFA. Yeah. And a lot of my friends got into Nazi Zombies here. Yeah. But I never really. I watched.
I went crazy on that. I mean, as friend of the show, Noble Squashy knows, when we were at PAX, we played a bit of zombies from Black Ops, and he realized how good I was because it all started coming back.
Doing circles.
Yeah, it all started coming back, and it was such a fun time.
But yeah, I guess to summarize everything, I've always loved gaming with friends mostly. Dabbled in the single player games, usually platformers. But Pokemon being the sort of outlier there with like RPG games. They're just so dang cute.
Are you would you, like, just a quick segue on that, would you, tangent off that rather, would you play any other RPG games after Pokemon, or was Pokemon kind of it? Because it was for me. I never really got into RPG games, to be honest. A lot of people had Pokemon as their gateway drug, but yeah. No, me neither. I stopped at Pokemon. I think Emerald was my last one that I played, and yeah, that was it.
Dan, I gotta say, I think I got so worked up in our conversation, I broke the Nido.
You broke your stress ball?
Yeah. I really got into it. All of a sudden, I just felt this liquid on me. I was like, oh, I think I broke it.
Oh, man.
But anyway, ultimately, from CTR to Crash Bash to Madden to FIFA to Halo, multiplayer gaming is really at my core.
And that's kind of led into VR, where still multiplayer gaming is at your core, right?
Yeah, mostly.
You've not changed. Where it's funny you say that. So, like I said, with the multiplayer games, like, I always enjoyed them. I'd always, like, especially in the PS3 era where we had internet connection and such, I had such a blast playing that. But with that said, 9 times out of 10, always play with friends rather than just standard online. The only outlier with that was FIFA. I played FIFA to death for years, but that was the only outlier. But every other game, even with Call of Duty, like, I would 90% of the time I'd play with friends, and I'd always have such a great time. Like, playing with friends is amazing. But to go on to your point here is, like, I always liked single player games and always have done, and that's still kind of leaked into VR. Like, I still really like playing the single player games. However, with that said, multiplayer games with friends, I get like 10 times more satisfying for me in terms of enjoyment, and like, I could play for hours when I'm playing with friends and such. And that's still the same even though I play more single player games in general. Playing with friends is still, I think, is the ultimate enjoyment factor, I would say. And that kind of, even in VR, that's why sometimes when I've played VR, I've not really played much VR the week, but I have played, like, in our walkabout group, or as we'll get into in part 2, Ancient Dungeon with 3 of us, 4 of us total. And that enjoyment, I feel like it's with the friends or family members. Like, I have really good memories with my dad playing a lot of Tiger Woods golf back in the day, early Call of Duty and those kind of things. But yeah, can you remember, like, I know you haven't wrote this down, but can you remember the first game you ever beat?
Sweet.
I have a distinct memory. That's why, because the first game
It's
I ever
probably
Pokemon, right? That makes sense. The first game I ever beat, I did Pokemon Silver. I remember beating as well, but Star Wars Phantom Menace on PC was the first game I ever beat, and I beat that.
I think I had that on PlayStation.
It was in. If you remember Phantom Menace, the last fight was with Darth Maul, and I couldn't beat him with like lightsabers. It was too difficult. So I was playing with my uncle because I was pretty young as well. So like he would help as well, and I think he actually played most of the game, and I was just assisting. But then I did the final boss myself, and it was on keyboard. And we basically went to a shop, bought rocket launchers and rocket launcher ammos, and then when we fought Darth Maul, we bombarded him with rocket launchers from a distance, and that's what beat him.
Dodge this.
Yeah, dodge this. So that's it. But yeah, that's our gaming memories. I mean, I feel like we could talk for hours.
Well, that's good memories. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of memories there. With like you said, with you played a lot of stuff in college. Like I actually stopped in college. I didn't really get into gaming at all until afterwards. So I kind of like that was like kind of my stop when it came to gaming until coming back into it much later on. But yeah, it's always fun to reminisce. And for those of you listening and watching, I hope you enjoyed that little conversation there. And if any of those memories resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Discord. We'd love to hear your gaming memories, your earliest gaming memories. What was your first ever console? What is one fond memory that you really have as a kid? Would love to hear it. And how is it translated to VR? Because I can see with me and Samson, it has still like the same kind of taste translate into VR.
There are through lines.
Yeah, there are through lines. Anyway, that will do for part one. Part two, we're going to cover some news and what we've been playing. So we will see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part two, where we're going to go into our regular show of the VR stuff, no longer flat screen stuff, back to VR stuff. And then
welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back, and we'll get into what we've been playing as well. So let's get into the news stories. There's just a few to talk about. They're not massive ones, to be honest, but first one, VR Games Showcase returns. This is the most exciting one, I would say. August 12th, 12 p.m. Eastern time, or 9 a.m. Pacific time. VR Gaming Showcase. Yeah.
Are you going to be there, or are you going to be square?
I will be at work, so I will just keep an eye on it.
You'll be square.
So I'll be square, but I'll watch it again, and then we'll talk about it on the show at some point.
It looks exciting.
Yeah, so it's interesting that they've kind of announced a lot of this stuff already. It's on Tuesday, by the way, August 12th. So we'll film our show after that, and then we'll post some reactions later on that week. But so there's going to be an XR Indies and Friends pre-show 20 minutes before. They had this XR Indies and Friends as like a separate event last time or earlier in the year, but this time they're kind of putting it into this one show. But in terms of what we know so far, now this could change, or in terms of they could add more into this for sure. We don't know how long it's going to be, but we know that Glass Breakers is going to be there from the team behind Moss. Reach is going to be there. Flat to VR is announcing a new development initiative, whatever that means. There's going to be a new reveal for Aces of Thunder, an update on Zix, or ZIX, which is the roguelike, procedurally generated roguelike game. A fresh look on Exoshock, which is a sci-fi PvE shooter, if I remember correctly. Forefront as well. We know that's the Battlefield, basically, game. A reveal from Fast Travel Games Publishing, who did Midnight Walk, Action Hero, and such.
That's exciting.
Is Midnight Walk coming to Quest?
I don't know about that.
I'm
You
not
think
too sure.
that could be a reveal?
That would be a
guess.
reveal. Yeah, that would be a reveal. That'd be every other game pretty much is on Quest already, so that's the only one that isn't, as far as I remember. But I could be wrong on that. And then something brand new from Soul Assembly, who did Just Dance, Drop Dead, Warhammer Battle Sister, I think it was what it was called, and such. So they're coming out with something as well. So without even if there were more stuff to this is a pretty solid show in terms of what we have here. But we'll see. There might be some more. They might have some information on Thief. Who's to say? They did reveal Thief, earlier. So
I'll say this: I don't want to see anything more for Reach. I want to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Aces of Thunder too.
Well, what I want to see for Reach? I want to see the release date.
Yeah, I do want the release date.
Yeah, I think the release date, I hope Midnight Walk is coming for Quest. I'd be very excited if it
Quest 3, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see. We'll see if we get any Thief news. I'd be really interested to see that as well.
I did download, I think must be on like the PlayStation Plus or something, the first Thief. Mm-hmm. I put it in my little library
that came out.
It must be a reboot. I don't know. I could get it on the PS5. So
they came out with a reboot in 2012, 2013. I don't know. Everything to me came out in 2010, but it didn't. But it feels like it did.
Time stagnant.
Maybe it was later than that. But yeah, Thief came out. It was like a reboot, and they only made the one. I think it got mixed reviews, but the Thief VR game looks really good, and I'm really excited for that one. Yeah,
there you have it.
Spotify is now on Quest, technically. It's actually basically just a web app, a shortcut to the website, which you could technically do. You can do web apps on Quest, which basically you can save
what I'll do
on there. Yeah, what are you going to do?
I'm going to listen to the Walkabout soundtrack on the Spotify app, but mix and match all the courses in their songs.
Wow, you're really going to throw it off. You play, I don't know, some crazy 8-bit lair, but to what was the one that just came out, Crystal Lair? Yeah, you'll mix all the layers up, and that will make a lot of sense.
Precisely.
Yeah, that'll make a lot of sense. Yeah, I like it. At least you start listening to the music rather than turning it off.
It's funny you were saying that, and all I'm thinking is I don't even know really what they
you don't even know what the music is. So you're like, oh, this might work. Who's to say? But yeah, it's basically just a web app. So it's a shortcut to the website, which you can could have done before, but now you can just download it instead of doing that yourself. But because it's a web app, you can't download songs or podcasts to use offline. The Quest is very much an online device, but if you are obviously going on a trip or something like that, you can't listen to any of that music. Obviously, you just have it on your phone, but just keep that in mind. But you can play music in the background. So web apps can work in the background with the multitasking features that they now have. So you do have that.
Pretty good for online use.
Yeah. Beat Saber had a shock drop. Sabrina Carpenter Espresso, the big song that came out this time last year, has been dropped in Beat Saber. They're doing a lot of these shock drops recently, actually. It's been quite a few.
Shocking.
This one
but
not
Dan,
on PlayStation.
Still no mixed reality. Where's our mixed reality?
I don't know if it's coming. They would have done it by now. They would have done it by now, surely, right?
You're right.
Next news story, Samson. This one's from you. So why don't you read this one out, or tell us what it is at least?
All right, this one's Putt Window lets you use a real putter and ball in Quest 3 mixed reality. Putt Window, spelled P-U-T-T, window, is an innovative Quest 3 game that lets you use your real putter and golf ball in mixed reality. It's $6, Stan, and it looks pretty good. There's some videos, and a virtual ball spawns after you hit your real ball. Mm-hmm. So you actually hit your real ball, and then it senses how it would would react, and then you see it putt like you would in Golf Plus. And it's recommended that you put like a pillow or something.
So you don't actually hit the ball going flying. You actually just hit it into something, so it can just come back to you.
Exactly.
I should try this out.
Yeah,
Right?
Dan. I'm going to start looking for a putter now at the thrift store.
Yeah, you don't have a putter? Oh, I have my clubs. I have the clubs in storage, but I went to the storage today actually, and the clubs are all in the back of the storage, so I do need to
Dan,
grab it.
there was a toy one at the store yesterday. I almost got it.
You should get yourself a real putter. You could with all these.
I saw they're like $60 or so at the store new, but I figure I can just keep an eye out for one.
Yeah, you'll get one at the thrift store for
somewhere.
real cheap, and you'll get like one that people have stolen from like a pitch and putt or something, and then just put it to the thrift store. It happened. We used to have one going up, like a pitch and putt one that we just uncles were taking it. Very, very good. Underdogs had an update, which is a more of a multiplayer update. So they've
it hasn't happened yet. It's their future. It's an announcement about their future update.
Right. Do you know when it's coming out?
They don't have it announced yet because they haven't finished it.
Oh,
but it's pretty cool stuff.
I see.
They basically announced the new direction. So it's they're gonna have a new base mech for just for the multiplayer because of the single player one was a little too stiff. It's going to have PvP that feels like a real physical fight. So you'll like actually really feel like you're getting smashed or smashing others. And then they highlighted 3 key things. They remade the physics to, like I mentioned, to feel that smash. There's a new movement system, new mechanics for multiplayer, like, for example, punch stepping, which is where you punch to step.
Yeah.
And then they're going to add new mechs that are not all gorillas.
Oh, that's cool. That's a big update, to be honest. It's like a whole revamped multiplayer system.
So get out there, get the word out there for Underdogs. You know, nice. keep them funded during this time, and we'll get some multiplayer.
Nice, very good. And then final news story, Samson. There's also an Ancient Dungeon update. Do you want to tell?
Breaking news.
Breaking news, yeah. Hot off the press.
Hot. Dan, I barely touch it. I should go get my oven mitts for this news. Because just today, July 31st, there's a magic roll to go along with the sword roll and the crossbow roll. The weapon will feature a wand-style attack and offer 3 different incantations that have different abilities. They'll find the weapon hidden away in the Forgotten Library.
Excellent stuff. I mean, we played a bunch of this, and I'll talk about it in a moment, but you only have 2 weapons at the moment, the sword and the crossbow. And the crossbow is something that it seems like you can't unlock till you've completed the game 3 times. I think
is
that's
it 3?
I think that's what we spoke about, but it might be a little bit different. But the crossbow is so handy. Like, you need someone in your team with a crossbow because
I do love the crossbow. With the sword, I don't like to get so close to the enemies, and then I find myself just throwing the dagger a lot, which is fine, but I'm not very good at throwing, and my arm gets tired.
It's exhausting, it's exhausting throwing that dagger. But that's great. That's great that there's a new and technically potentially 3 different types of using that weapon in terms of what I'm really intrigued of what it's going to be. But this goes live by the time you're listening to this podcast. Actually, it'll be out.
Exactly.
It'll be out.
That's why it's breaking news.
Hot off the press. Well, let's get into what we've been playing, and let's start off with Ancient Dungeon VR. This is actually what both of us have been playing, and it's the only game I played on VR this week, to be honest, because I've been away, but had a great time. So basically, it was 4 of us, me, Samson, Noble Squashy, and Live Open Mic. The YouTubers, friends of the shows, the Discord folks, and essentially we had a great time. We played for 2 hours. We did 2 runs. First run we failed. Essentially, I was a rookie.
Well, first of all, the first run we got hit with so many traps.
We did. We had so many traps. A lot of climbing as well at some point as well. Which is And
what did we died on the
one,
second to last boss?
Yeah, before the boss, we're in the last dungeon, shall we say? Yeah. I think all 3 of you died, and it was just me and my sword. And I tried my best.
It was admirable. Then we tried again.
We tried again.
And this time I remembered to use my crossbow.
Yeah, you did, yeah, because basically 3 of us had swords and Josh had a crossbow and kept us in it for a while. The crossbow is, like, in a way overpowered because you can hit from range.
It's just a good range, yeah. But the range with the dagger is a thing.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, but the thing is, I realized that with a lot. So this is my first time like properly playing Ancient Dungeon. Like I played it a little bit last week, just on my own, just for a little bit. That was more to do with testing the B haptics. But this time playing with all you guys who have played it before, you also knew, what everything did, like what the different weapons would do in terms of the crossbow, what the different enemies would feel like, what the different bosses would feel like. So it was almost like having a cheat code of just knowing
a guide, yeah,
a guide that's taking us through and taking us through the right path. But I had a great time. This game is fantastic. It looks great. The enemies are a good variety of enemies. The one that I find is the hardest one to do with the sword is I don't know what you'd call the enemy, but essentially they let off like a circular disc beam that comes at you. That one's very hard to avoid with just being a sword.
Because you have to get close to it.
You have to get close, but they're shooting the beam and such, and it's quite hard to dodge. But I'm just really impressed with the game itself. Like it's so well made. The procedurally generated dungeons work really well. At least the 2-3 times that I've played it now, going through the passes. I really want to hit the shopkeeper, but you didn't let me.
He's his own boss.
Yeah, so maybe I should jump in there on my own and attack that shopkeeper and see if I can beat him.
He's a very difficult boss.
Yeah, I remember
he's beatable though. He's beatable.
I remember beating up the shopkeeper in Spelunky. I don't know if you played Spelunky on flat screen, and that's funny as well because he'll just start chasing you, and he'll basically kill you. There's no way to avoid it. So it might be very similar to that.
Well, I've been with somebody who defeated him, so I know it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. But unpleasant.
Unpleasant, but possible. I do want to try it, but then there's so much more to the game. Like it's you complete it, but then there's so many...
all the insight, Dan.
Right.
So every time you finish it, you get a certain amount of insight based on how much new lore, or how many new things you saw. And then, Dan, eventually there's alternate floors. So, like, a few of the dungeons have alternate floors. I saw that on the map,
actually, because there's two... I think there's 2 alternate floors. There was two ones that we didn't go into. I thought that was just, like, a random, like, you'd go into one or the other, depending on the run that you're doing. But I guess that just depends on the insight that you put in, right? Whichever you get on. Yeah, really well done game. The only thing I would say that I would love for it to improve on, I feel like the length is good. The 4 dungeons feels a little bit small at times, but it did take us like a whole hour or so to kind of get through the run, which was
the dungeon scales up with us.
Yeah, and I would also say that in terms of one thing that I would like is the dungeon, the first dungeon is smaller than the second, and they get bigger and bigger and such. I kind of wish that the length of the dungeons were kind of the same instead of being shorter. And
do they get bigger and bigger?
It felt unless we were just really good and like the first 2 like we breezed through.
I think a couple of them we skipped like going through.
Oh, maybe
areas.
that's it. Maybe that's it. But yeah, I love how the mechanics work. I love the different. Obviously, it's pixel art like a Minecraft kind of thing, but it's I like the avatars that you can kind of dress up. There's a bit of customization there.
It's very interactable. Like all the vines or the grass, you can actually cut and watch
the bookshelves and the hidden. Like there's some. The only thing with this game is that I feel like it's really hard when you're just on your own. Like it's really hard to play.
You got to be so patient.
You got to be so patient. Those boss levels must be
one
really
enemy
hard.
at a time.
Yeah, one enemy at a time, and I feel like the runs will take you a long time, to be honest, when you're just on your own trying to get through.
I forget what the speed run like achievement is, but it is very fast. I remember.
I think my favorite enemy that I fought was the flying skulls, because you can anticipate them, and as soon as they come close, you just wave your sword and you can chop them up. That's very satisfying. And the ones that were the most annoying but still really fun was the ones that blow up when you kill them. They kill them and they blow up in the spore. There's like red spore.
I hate the spore.
I always forget about the spore. But the bosses were really good. I felt like the last boss was quite difficult, to be honest. We managed to do it no problem, to be honest. But I think if
you mean like the big final boss? Or
I feel like if you're just on your own, it becomes really difficult.
I feel like they scale up.
They might do.
Health.
They might do. I mean, we'll find out. We'll have to ask the dev and such, but that's for a future episode. But yeah, that's Ancient Dungeon. I had a blast. I had a great time. Fantastic game. Like those 2 hours was so much fun. But that
great time. Yeah, so that wasn't the only time I got to play some games this week with Noble Squashy, because we got into Path of the Warrior.
Oh, sweet.
Because he listened to our episode and he had never played it.
Oh, we've not played it before.
Yeah, he had not played it before, so he used my little referral thing. And we got in. We played through the whole thing in about 2 hours or so, and it was a blast. It was just as fun as when I played it a month ago.
Yeah.
Except this time with somebody. Yeah, it's a little. I wish there were like at times more enemies. I feel.
I don't think the scales up. It doesn't feel like it scales up.
Well, it scales up a little bit because it went to like 12 or whatever, as opposed to like just 8. I feel.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. But it doesn't feel like it though. It feels quite easy when it's just 2. Yeah.
But it was kind of fun to hang out, and there's no chat, so we had to do the meta call, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Path of the Warrior. If you're looking for and the boss battles, Dan, how they set up the boss battles and this introduction.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah. It's so much fun.
The humor all made me excited for Deadpool. Even just playing it, like it'll just be fun to play.
Yeah, I agree.
Regardless of the IP.
I agree.
Anyway, that's Path of the Warrior. Other than that, the Ancient Dungeon, Synth Riders, been getting in more Synth Riders with the haptic vest and the sleeves. Love those little guys. And I've been playing a lot more on the PlayStation, mostly to have the social screen. It's just way easier to have somebody see what's going on, which leads me to Trombone Champ, which I've been playing a good amount. And when the kid's hanging around, I'm like, hey, what song you want me to play? And I just go through until she's like, that one.
Yeah.
And I play it on trombone.
Nice.
Great fun, tooting along. If you're into rhythm games and a good challenge, Trombone Champ, try it.
For sure.
Not enough people have, there's been new content, not enough people have tried all the bonus material.
I haven't tried it myself, to be honest. So yeah, fair enough.
I can tell in the leaderboards get really, there's not very many people. Yeah, they're pretty sparse on the PlayStation. Then I got into Tetris Effect again. A few maps here and there. Just needed to zone out.
Does that work with haptics Tetris Effect or not? I don't think it is.
Not in the PlayStation. Yeah. I don't think on the Quest, but that one would be an okay one to use audio.
Yeah.
I'd say,
yeah.
Of all the games.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Speaking of haptics, wore it for Breachers again, as per always. Love it. Great time. If you're into multiplayer gaming, Breachers is where it's at. Also, there was a big VRML. They did their VRML Con, which is like VR Major League. I don't know what it stands for exactly, but they flew people out to Phoenix, and there were teams going for it. And it was a great time. You can see it on their YouTube channel if you're interested. And then Dan, just to wrap it all up here, I tried a little bit of Elsewhere Electric with the partner.
Yep.
And we were able to get into the room with the elevator. Took the elevator down. I knew to expect the darkness because you had mentioned it.
Yeah.
But then, you can kind of see the lights and whatever she could see on the phone. We ended up doing the 3 computers in that dark room in reverse order, because the first one is supposed to be you turn on the lights and then you do the next 2. I went down the hall. How on earth
did you do it in reverse?
I just wherever I could teleport. I couldn't really see, but I knew if it was blue, I could get there. and then it was just you could see the pictures or whatever. And so I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then after that, I couldn't figure out what to do after that, and we took a break.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think it's a really hard puzzle game, to be honest. Because you have to rely on
you just got to get yourself into their world. Once you understand the language, I feel, then you get it.
I agree. It takes a little bit of time for sure. Beauty. That's everything you've been playing?
Yeah, I believe so.
A random other thing that I've been playing, which is not VR related. I've been hooked on Zelda Link to the Past on my phone on the Delta emulator. It's been a blessing to be like, just have that emulator in my pocket, and then whenever like there's some time.
You need the backbone thing. We should get that little. We should get.
I really like playing vertically, and I do end up. Yeah, I really like playing vertically, and I end up like pressing the buttons by mistake because I'm obviously doing it in
insane.
Yeah, I actually really like playing vertically. There's a case called is it called the
weirdo case for playing vertically?
No, let me just find out.
Well, if you're talking flat, I've been playing Astrobots still, but
oh, nice,
man, it's hard to find all these bots.
Is it? Yeah. Do you have to find bots in Astrobot? You have to keep finding them.
Yeah, it's the whole point. It's like 301 to find or something like this.
Oh, I see. I've not played it. It's called Game Baby, is what it is, and it's essentially a iPhone case. And I wish I could, but I don't have. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and it only works for the 16 Pro Max or the 15 Pro Max, the big ones. But essentially, it's a case, and the bottom half of the case can disconnect, and essentially it's a controller. So it has the full D-pad and buttons and all that stuff, and then you can just basically rotate it on top of the screen and put it on top of the screen, and it looks wicked. If anyone needs to check it out, it's called Game Baby. It's like $30, and if you have that phone, it's perfect for it. And it's got really good reviews as well. Yeah, it's called the Game Baby. You should check it out, Samson. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's on the back.
Yeah, it's on the back, but then you can take off the bottom part and put it on top of the screen, and then it doesn't use any Bluetooth or anything. It just kind of uses.
And when you're playing the emulator, it only uses that half of the screen anyway.
Right. Exactly. So I wish I could have that, but unfortunately, I don't have that phone. But I always play vertical for some reason. Yeah, horizontal. It's okay, but I like the vertical aspect of it. I find it really comfortable on the phone rather than like a Ambernic retro that I have. Like it's too small. Where on the phone, it just for some reason it's like a great size. And yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. I've never played it before. I never had any Zelda game growing up for Game Boys, so I've been trying to get back into those and play the backlog. But yeah. Anyway, that will do for part 2. Part 3, we'll talk about the VR games. It's been a very like VR/non-VR podcast, but in part 3, we'll get into the VR games out this week.
Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show.
Of LTO 197. Games out this week. We'll strictly talk about VR stuff right now. Samson, do you want to start off here?
I'd love to, Dan. This week, Skyrunner comes out. Maneuver your drone around virtual turrets, rescue hostages, and battle fires, all while staying anchored to your real-world surroundings. Skyrunner, Drone Hero, puts the heart-stopping gameplay right in your living room with top-notch mixed reality. Previously available in early access and known as Bomber Drone, Skyrunner, Drone Hero, is a whole new take on the existing game. More immersion, higher tensions, and improved functionalities take the game to the next level. Save lives in dangerous new scenarios and complete challenges that will test your piloting skills in the campaign to unlock new drone skins.
Nice. This is a game that you already own, right?
I do.
Yeah. Very good. So it's basically coming out of early access, as you mentioned. Next game, Besiege VR. I said that right? Besiege?
I believe you did.
Very well. Unleash your creativity. Yeah, I didn't say that right. Unleash your creativity and construct any machine that you can imagine and watch it annihilate your enemies or crash and burn in blaze of glory. Construct the ultimate machine and unleash chaos and destruction. Create anything you want, and from catapults to tanks to planes to ships to even giant mechs. Stand alongside your gargantuan killing machines in first person. I can't read sometimes. In first person and experience their epic scale. Perfect your craft and test your creations in a large open sandbox environments. Conquer your way through multiple kingdoms in a 50-level campaign. Feel the rumble of explosions and clanking of your machinery through haptic feedback. Harness an intuitive and flexible building system with more than 70 blocks to choose from. This one looked really cool when we saw the trailer recently in the Upload VR Summer Showcase. Excuse me. I'm not sure if it's a game that I want to pick up, but I like the idea of it. It's where it's a tower defense, and you can then just jump into the action yourself.
No, I think it's like a sandbox. So you get different scenarios. So you've got to like build a machine to try to solve those various scenarios.
Yeah, actually, no, you're right. Yeah, I'm getting mixed up with this game at all. Yeah, you're right. There's different scenarios, like you mentioned, and then you just gotta solve them in creative physics ways. Kind of like it
reminds me of
Bridge
like
Constructor.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah, or something.
I'm thinking Bridge Constructor, where you have to get the car over and you have to draw something. But Tears of the Kingdom is what you mean.
Or that's one, yeah.
Yeah, is this something that interests you at all?
Much like you, I like the idea of it. I think that I'd actually play through certainly all 50 levels. Woo! I don't know. This seems like a good sale one for me.
Well, the next one,
but, if you're into this type of game, it does look pretty good.
The next one might be more up your alley with the keyboard that you have lurking around in that house of yours.
It does. The Piano Cafe. Welcome to Piano Cafe, a magical mixed reality game where you cook using your real piano. No more boring music lessons or confusing sheet music. Just grab your apron, play real chords, and serve up dishes to your ghostly guests. This is not just a game. It's a hands-on way to learn piano, designed for curious minds and musical beginners. Whether you're 8 or 88, you'll pick up harmony and chords by playing, not memorizing. With pass-through and spatial interactions, your living room becomes the kitchen. Great ingredients. Catch them, cook them into meals, and unlock secret recipes. Just play and enjoy the music. And eventually, you'll understand what music truly is.
Have you seen the trailer or seen anything about this game?
Not yet, but I got the trailer running now.
Well, it's really silly. It's just basically like your keyboard, different chords or different notes relate to different food types. So let's say you need to get some bread. If you play a certain chord, your bread just flies up and such. Or if you want the milk or trying to make the burger and such, and it's just it's really interesting. It kind of looks rough around the edges, but I'm very curious. I mean, you have the piano or the keyboard.
I'm intrigued. A game involving the piano is a cool idea,
right? A little bit different than just trying to play songs. I like the idea. I'll leave that to you to potentially.
It's got no price yet. But yeah, no. I think $10 or under, I'm definitely sold.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe 15, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see what it comes out.
We'll see. It does look like a $10 game, to be fair. So, yeah. All right, they're the 3 games out this week, and Samson, that is our show.
Great
for
one.
This week.
Nice work.
Yeah, nice work. We are only 2 more shows away from.
We felt pretty nostalgic this week.
Yeah, exactly. Are we 2 more shows? Did I get the math wrong when it comes to our shows coming out in terms of episode 200? Because it feels
this is 97. Next week will be 198. The week after that will be $199. The week after that's $200.
Yeah, and that's the 21st.
Yeah,
when we'll film
I think you nailed it, man.
I guess because we
You're
filmed
in your
this,
own head.
I think because we filmed this a few days in
So
advance,
early. Yeah,
so
it
it
throws you
feels
off.
like I'm like, hold on, we already there. So yeah, good times. Okay, so I guess $199 will be the upload VR, not the upload VR, the VR game showcase. That will be the $199 episode before we go on to the next one.
Yep.
I still for some reason feel like I've got all of these numbers wrong, but maybe not. Anywho, that will do for our show. I've been Dan. He's been Samson. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember, the Discord is available to you in the description. Send us a comment, all that jazz, and we will see you next week.